What's going on, guys? I hope you've had a wonderful week. We have got basketball picking up. Football is entering the playoffs soon. And finally, this year is winding down. And hopefully, we'll have a much better 2021 in this crazy year where sports cards was pretty much the only silver lining in my year. So I hope you've had a much better year than me. But tonight's a very special live stream because we got not only one, but two special guests. The first guy you know already, he is the personal finance dad, Dustin. And of course, we'll be answering your questions, going over some of our strategy. But then the second guest, Corey, he is the founder of Your Slabs, and he is doing something super cool. He's carved out his own niche and created his own product to help us display our graded cards. So I think whether you're an investor or collector, you'll really want to see what he's creating, as well as this will open the idea to, or open your mind to ideas of ways to make money or get into the hobby outside of just cards. So I'm really excited about introducing him to you. He's more on the Instagram side. But without further ado, let's bring on Dustin. Dustin, where you at? There you are. What's up, my man?
What's up? How's it going, Brad?
I'm doing good, man. And you know what's funny is I wanted to bring you on with Corey just because it was your mother-in-law that was painting all of those cards, right? You had the Luka card, the Jordan, what else? A Jerry Rice or something?
Yeah, and a Wayne Gretzky rookie card. Yeah.
And a Wayne Gretzky. Okay, so you had all those. And I'm like, dude, the more people that work from home, the more people will want to have their homes nicely furnished rather than look like this piece of shit right here. And I'm like, whether it's cards like that being painted or it's the design, the PSA holder that you're going to see in about 30 minutes, I think that's a really cool niche. So I'm gonna.
Are you leading up to my mother-in-law making you a Mike Evans painting? Because it's not gonna. There's no Bucks paintings. All right, we're not doing.
I'll take a Tom Brady in free agency painting, like just in a nice suit. I'll take that. How about this? This is the painting I want. I want a painting of me and Tom Brady like high-fiving, or something like that. Something like. He's shaking my hand like it's an honor to meet you, Brad. That's the painting I want.
That's how it would go, too. That's how it would go.
Yeah. We got JJ in the house, the card collector. What's up, Mike C? You're always in here. Eric's in the house. Michael Ham, fellow Buccaneer fan. Hockey 99. Yeah, man. What's great about having multiple guests on is that if both of our internets go bad, then Corey, who we're going to bring on in about 30 minutes, will be able to bail us out. He'll be the only one on the stream, and he's never even used StreamYard before. So he'll be like, what the hell is this? Do I just show my product? Do I show this?
Actually, you should just do that as a joke. Just pull us both off and let them run with it for about 10 seconds.
just to screw with them, like an initiation. A grumpy card guy, good to see you, even though you're only saying hi to Dustin, but I know that's your humor. What's up, Ziggy? Brad? Yeah, dude. Dude, the thing is, this was supposed to be a crash pad, not a bachelor pad where it was nice. This was like in between apartments that turned into about a year of living here just because COVID completely delayed everything. And I was going to tell Corey in a bit, Your Slabs, that I can't wait to get one of his displays when I actually move into my next apartment, which is going to be a lot nicer. Global sports card investor in the house. Cody, what's up, my man? We got Daniel here and Troy. All right. So what's up in your world, man? I've talked to you a bit outside of here, but we're winding down. We're almost to Christmas and the New Year's. We got basketball starting, football. Like, what's up with you? Where's your mind in terms of investing? Are you selling off? Are you buying? Are you ripping?
You know, I am not selling, but I'm looking to sell in January. I don't know where you're at with that, but I'm going to wait January, February, March. I think first quarter I'm going to do quite a bit of selling. I'm kind of taking a hard right turn towards 86 Flair basketball right now. That's really where I've been buying graded 86 Flair basketball stuff is where I've been, and not necessarily like every player, but just
a couple Jordan 10s.
Yeah, I mean, you probably saw it in the news, maybe. I don't know. I dropped like $200,000 on a Jordan 10.
Well, I always see that on your live streams. You're sponsored by StreamYard, so I know that they're paying you big bucks for that sponsorship.
Swimming in money from StreamYard. Let me also say thank you to StreamYard for having me.
Oh, wait. Oh wait, look, I got it as well. I just the contract just got signed, guys. So wait, what's with you and buying this 86 Fleer? What, like, is that just a cool thing or what?
Well, okay, so here's my thought behind it, and tell me what you think. But I see, yeah, I see like the case going for almost $2 million. You see the PSA 10 Jordans going for, it just keeps on climbing. Feels like, and I kind of look at that set, and well, I think everybody kind of does it. Before the boom of basketball cards over the last 18 months, the 86 Fleer basketball set was the currency of, oh, hey, Nona.
Is that your mother-in-law? Or
yeah,
no? Oh, sweet. Awesome. Well, my name's Brad, and I love your paintings.
Yeah. I didn't know you were getting on, Nona. We didn't talk about this. You better watch yourself in the chat, lady.
Actually, now that I think about it, I'd like to be on top of a unicorn riding into a rainbow, but like with 2 swords in hand and with about 100 pounds of muscle added to my frame. That would be super. Something realistic.
So she just texted me, I'm on your live. I was thinking maybe I could make a cake, like do a cake. Because like the cards and cake thing. That
yeah, cool and you know what? I didn't ask you this before. For one, I never expect you to have like a cake. So for one, do you have a dessert?
So I do have. My wife doesn't know that I'm eating these, but it's melting wafers that you're supposed to actually like bake with, and I'm just eating them right out of the bag.
So I appreciate the effort. You really you really took your time on that one. I got something a bit better. All right. I've never had this before. I mean, I've had the dessert overall. I've never had it on a live stream, but it's one of my favorite desserts. And I just happened to run into it at the grocery store. But it is from my favorite country in Europe. So I want to see if you can guess it first. My favorite country in Europe. And if another hint would be Kyrie Irving's first name means God in this language.
Okay, what now? What?
Okay, so my favorite country in Europe, so it's European.
Right, okay.
Kyrie Irving's first name, Kyrie, means God in this language.
I'm going to say Greece.
That's the country. That would be the country. All right, boom, there we go.
Greek. I said Greece.
So what's the dessert?
Oh, it's actually, wait,
that's later. Ziggy, that's like in another hour or so.
Yeah. Actually,
my
mother-in-law will know this. Hey, Nona, what are the Greek desserts? Oh, baklava?
Boom.
Yes.
So I got 2 big-ass donuts here, but you see a whole ring of baklava. And I had to stab these donuts so they didn't fall all over my keyboard and screw up the whole stream. But that is my dessert for tonight.
Damn.
Boom. Yes. So I saw a grumpy card guy in there asking for it. So that was a perfect transition. If you can have a cake with like your face on it or it says personal finance dad, dude, that would be the sickest thing ever. And Corey, who's coming up in about 25, 30 minutes, he says he has a pretty special dessert as well. I don't know if he can compete with that, but we'll see. But all right, back to your 86 Fleer. All right, you're seeing the set take off. Obviously, Jordan is perhaps the holy grail card for basketball. I mean, many would say.
I just think that, and I'm not saying that every guy in there, I'm not necessarily looking at every guy, but I'm thinking short term and long term. I feel like, there's a lot of opportunity there, especially with basketball season starting. So there's a lot of focus on kind of the newer players, the guys that are playing. And I'm not saying that all of a sudden 86 Fleer is inexpensive, because it's not. It's going to be expensive. But I'm seeing little pockets where there could be opportunities, especially when you look at pop reports and you look at how much of the stuff is actually out there.
Oh, so
yeah. That's where I've been focused the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to stay on that for a little bit.
What's interesting about that is I was thinking about why certain sets take off and why like you could buy a base card in a set like 96 Topps Chrome or of Jordan, let's say, but that's not that special of a set. But then you have the Kobe rookie in there, or you have like 2012, 2013 Prism. And even though I love Select's aesthetics way more, I think to myself, there are no rookie cards from that set that are really noticeable, because you have like these like hot rookies, or what are those inserts called? Like
it's
like
hot rookies.
hot rookies. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's more like an insert. And then Damian Lillard was the one notable rookie card in there that is mass produced. The others were, I think, numbered to 150 autos. So it's a very rare card. But I think to myself, man, if Select 2012, 2013 had a regular print run with Kawhi and AD and the others, I bet that set would have been a lot more noticeable, because 86 Fleer has that anchor card. It has that card where you go, okay, I can really look at this and I see it everywhere. And now I know that red, white, and blue with a little yellow trim around it, that is Jordan's rookie year. That is his set. And they even did the reprints, I think 20 years later or something like that. It was like 2009 or 2006 or something, where they did the reprint. So I totally see that. But that was also why I was thinking, I wonder if that's what's holding back other sets, is not having that one major rookie card for everyone to look at and associate with, that is hurting all the other players.
Yeah, I just think about which set in basketball cards 20 years, 30 years from now. I mean, there could be a set now that we're, a Prism set or something, but I feel like 50 years from now, 86 Fleer is still going to be known. It's still going to be a known commodity.
Dude, for sure. And I mean, when I think of the sets that have done the reprints, it's already iconic. But I guess that's why, I guess 03, 04 Topps Chrome, but I don't even think of it nearly in the same light as the 86 Fleer in terms of iconic. Like,
people don't collect it the same way. You've got LeBron stuff, and who else is in there? I mean, like 96 Topps Chrome has Steve Nash and Kobe, but 86 is unique.
Marbury.
Yeah, I mean, 86 is unique for sure.
Yeah, and I think that was the last paper card that we're going to really see take off in NBA. Because, I look at paper cards now and I go, okay, this is great. Where's the metal version? Where is the chrome version? Because now paper means the lower end of the glossy, of the shiny. And even going back to 86 Fleer, if they had the chrome cards back then, I think that would be the cheaper version. And then the Fleer chrome, the Fleer metal, whatever it would have been Jordan's premier rookie card. So that was something I was always considering. Like, could paper cards actually be something people care about as much, or like view as highly as they do a chrome card?
Well, yeah, and you make a good point. I mean, what happens if these next generations don't really care as much about? I mean, the Jordan rookie will always be iconic, but maybe they do look at those late 90s insert Jordan cards, as more of their time period, their thing, and they're just not as interested in that. I mean, I think there will always be collectors for 86 Fleer, but I could see how that could happen, where you just have the next generations are kind of like, I want some more of the metal and the Topps Chrome and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think part of it, like you're saying, is tied to what we grew up with. And so the 94, 95 for me through 2001, 2002 was my zone. So everything from that era is, I look at so much higher, or just, I value a lot higher, because I look at it and it's the nostalgic factor as well. If I look at anything pre 92, 93, I'm like, that's great, but I wasn't there. Like, it's only valuable because others say it's valuable, or because I know it's a rookie card of a player, but that's about it. I saw a couple questions here about, no, I'm not eating all that. Yes, I am. It's called intermittent fasting, and it works really well. But what I have before that is I have a huge plate of veggies, and now I have my green smoothie. So the reason I'm having my smoothie now is because if you're on this live stream the last, several months, 20 minutes in, I've got to piss like hell. I got to just pee. And that's because here's the rest of it. So it's a big ass smoothie right here. It's about 60 ounces. And instead of having it right before the stream and hoping that it doesn't hit my system for another 45 to an hour, I'm just going to have it now so that I don't have to run out of here. But so you're talking about 86 Fleer in terms of collecting, or is that more of like an investment?
Well, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, if you're it's a long-term hold, which makes it an investment. Like, I care about how much it's worth, so it's a long-term investment. I guess you could look at it like that. I think it depends on, with the newer players, those are more, kind of the shorter term flip, 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever. Whereas that 86 Fleer stuff, yeah, if it goes bonkers, maybe I resell it. But if I'm holding it in 10 years, I'm good with that. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of like every time I buy a card where I go, I hope to God this sells because I have zero interest in this player or this card. I'm always just tempted to take the first offer that's like 40%, 50%, 60%, something like. I've been flipping a lot of cards on COMC of just these 2019, 2020 rookies that are now being talked about and preseason hype and whatever. And I'm like, look, I bought for 7, I sell for 14. That's fine because I just don't even want to, until I care about the player, I just don't even want the card. But to take those profits and then roll that into the Tom Brady's, the Drew Brees, the Kobe's, the whatever, I just love that idea of like, how do I use what's hot and what's cold right now in this moment to find opportunity to then roll into something bigger and more secure? But at the same time, like I'm liking more and more the players that are in the Hall of Fame discussion that are already in that level and just finding the best time and the best cards to buy of them where I know that there's multiple chances. It's not like rookies where, okay, you were decent last year, 2019, 2020, you might be a bit better this year, but that's it. I'd rather say, you know what? I'd rather find an undervalued Tom Brady card during a slump or a Drew Brees rookie card during a slump and be like, dude, if it doesn't work out right now, it'll work out in the hype of next season. It'll work out mid-season next season. It'll work out the following season. But the idea of paying that kind of money for some of these guys that are just unproven still scares me. But anyway.
Yeah, and I'll say too, like even, I'm a collector in a sense, but I'm okay to sell anything, meaning that like I've got a price on everything, so,
How much for your virginity?
Yeah. I mean, it's I love the cards, but it's like if it comes, if the right price comes along, I can always get more cards. I can get different ones that I like.
Well, here's the funny thing, man, is dude, this smoothie, by the way, is like a combination of every article that's ever been written on Live Strong. We got like banana, coconut, spirulina, spinach, ginger, lemon, pea protein, like a bunch of stuff. So if there was an article written on it, that's what's in here, but that's what balances out eating 18 pieces of baklava and 2 donuts.
You're brave, because when I have stuff like that, I'm in the restroom like 15 minutes later with all that fiber.
Oh, that's my favorite part, man.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't mind it. Just for you to do it right before, like as a live stream is starting, that's gutsy.
Well, when I say my internet's cutting out, that's really what's going on. Is I'm just removing myself and taking a little break.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to hear what questions you guys have for about the next 15 minutes or so, and then I will bring on Corey. But the reason was because, I see a lot of other opportunities popping up in the sports card hobby, right? We have new stores, we have new programs, new this, and then now you have all these awesome paintings that your mother-in-law is painting you. And I'm like, damn, this is really cool. So I wanted to present the different opportunities that are coming up. And I got to give a shout out to, for one, Thomas, the Costa Rica card collector. Let me see if I can pull up the digital painting he did, or digital drawing. I don't know how you would say this. He did this, I believe, of his son. And he's looking to start a business where he can do this. So take a look at this right here. That's his son right here in the rated rookie card, where you can print it out and maybe do like an 8x10 or do something a bit larger. But just myself personally, I would love to see myself in a 2012 Select or a 86 Fleer.
That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be pretty sweet. I know. Actually, I see a question about how much does my mother-in-law charge for a painting. We aren't selling them yet. I mean, I guess it's on the table. As a thought. I mean, I wouldn't say that we're completely against it. I say we. She's the one that makes them. She's like, wait, what?
Well, but now you're her manager. Now you're like, all right, let me work out some deals here.
But you know what? Kind of going back to what you just showed, I was telling her, would you want to do cards? Because you see that quite a bit. Those, the artistic cards. And I mean, it's smaller, it's easier to ship, so I don't know, that could be an option, or maybe just smaller paintings or something, I think we're trying to figure it all out. So we're not selling them yet, but they're pretty cool. They're very cool for sure.
Yeah, I think that's just an easy opportunity right there because cards are very displayable. We are attached to our favorite sets, and we're stuck at home, right? And a lot of people are going to be working at home way more next year and going forward than before. So anything to make our homes a bit cooler, a bit more, I guess, I don't know about flashy, but just more personable. And then if you have a Zoom meeting, maybe you do have it in the background, and it's a cool conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean, for my channel, it makes my channel. I mean, I don't want to. I know she's on the line listening, but I mean, I think that that's a differentiator for me to have the paintings. I'm like the painting guy. I mean, people know me for that, so it's cool. Yeah, I agree with you.
Dude, I got to see you in one of those paintings.
I'm actually, that Luca painting's actually me. That's my step back 3.
I was going to say, well, before it was fully done, I thought that was you in a blue dress. I was like, oh, that's a blue dress.
You know what, my son, the first time he saw the Luca painting, he was like, Dad, who's the dancing girl? I'm like, that's messed up. He's 5, He's like, why is there a picture of a dancing girl?
To be fair, Luca's skills are so fluid that you could mistake him for a very talented ballet dancer.
Hey.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's take a look at some of these questions for the next 10 minutes or so. And I see Sam is waiting in the back, so I'll bring him on in a bit. And you guys got to see what he's put together because this stuff is genius. Global sports card investor, and feel free to just write your comment in again or your question in. We'll try and rapid fire this the next 10-15 minutes. Starstock is something I need to look more into because I do find opportunities. I've realized personally that I find my default going to COMC, and that's not necessarily good because COMC is a lot of lower end cards. And now I'm looking to be more on eBay's homepage and on Market Movers and Card Ladder and looking there because I think just my habits are stopping me from investing heavier. But I love the opportunities of Starstock because I feel like there is a good amount of overreaction, period. But when you can take advantage of that really quickly, it's great. What about you?
Yeah, I just signed up for an account recently, and I've been going back and forth with Ziggy and with Steve of Flipping Steve's channel, and just trying to get the lay of the land of it. So I do have an account. I have a stack of cards, maybe like 30 cards. I'd like to send them. Just trying to put it all together. When I have a little bit more time over the holiday, like over the probably next week, I'll probably look to get those out. But just like trying to go to the post office to try to figure out a shipment right now. With everybody trying to ship out for the holiday, it's like, I'll just wait until maybe afterwards and do it then. But I do want to get into it.
And I saw someone here, I think Rudy put tips on COMC. Dude, there's a couple of videos I did.
Brad COMC.
Dude, that's like my playground. It's literally a playground to me where I just have fun with $2 to $50 cards. And one thing I did, though, is I just requested my first shipment from COMC to me. And that was, I think, 200 or so cards. I think it was 200 cards. And I did the expedited shipping. So with top loaders on some of them, it was around $50. And it should get to me in January, like January 4th. But I did the faster shipping because the thought process was, let me get them in January so I can go and submit to grading so that I get them back in 6 months before next football season, because a lot of them are football cards. So I'm going to see if they actually stick to January 4th. I got an email saying that it was being packed up. But to me, I like $50 to have 200 cards shipped to me, knowing that they have to go and find each one and then put half of them in top loaders. When I did the math, assuming I clicked the right button on the PSA grade, when I did the math that way, it was actually a pretty good idea. Like I didn't see any issue with it. The other idea is to buy those rookie cards on COMC and then just send them directly to Starstock, because I'm seeing obviously Starstock is really competitive with lower fees and all that stuff. And it looks like from the feedback I've gotten, more people are happier to sell on Starstock with the higher prices. Plus they want the inventory. So if you can ship it over and not be in a rush, you might be able to find a good alternative to sell your cards at a premium on Starstock versus on COMC.
What are your thoughts as far as using Starstock to grade? Because now they have that as an option, I think. So they can do it for you for a fee. Is that something you would try to use, or what do you think?
I love the idea. COMC did that with Beckett with BGS, and they've stopped, I think, because BGS isn't really hiring or caring to expand the same way as PSA. I love the idea because anything to streamline is great. I bought my own silver membership to PSA, so I'm just going to do it myself. I totally would take advantage, but I would have to run the numbers too, because if it's $12 a card for me to do it on my own and it's 18 for them to do, maybe it's worth it on some cards. But if it's like a 200 card shipment, I'm like, well, that's a lot of money. Is it like, how much time is that really saving me? And then is that going to be sent, are they just sending all of that to PSA, which is 30 miles away from me? And my shipping cost, I just did 377 cards directly to PSA a few weeks ago. It was $12 to ship all of them. Now, and I'm going to try and either pick it up, or the other idea was to have the return address be the FedEx that they actually ship out of. So it doesn't leave. In which case I don't have to buy insurance or anything. It's like I just drive 30 miles down there. So that's something I'll consider. But yeah, to me, it's like if it's in my backyard, I might as well take advantage of that because everything else is expensive here. So if I can save on some shipping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see what else we got. Rice Up Media. Would you hold Jason Kidd and Steve Nash rookies, given their coaching career has just starting out? What's your take on those guys as rookie cards?
Oh man, those are kind of like tweeners for me. It's like having like a Chris Mullen rookie card or something, because it's like great players that with a strong collector base. You know what? Honestly, though, I guess that would be my issue because I'm just not involved with those two guys. I don't know enough about their collector base to really kind of know the movement on those cards. So I'm just not sure. That's just not in my wheelhouse, those two guys.
Well, yeah, and for me, I'm thinking I saw the Jason Kidds and Steve Nash cards selling when they were announced of being coaches, but I think like they're just not sexy buys. Like they don't have personal brands. I think that's one thing I'm starting to understand more of now, and I think it's kind of like formulating a theory where I go, players that are not as good now might still be more collectible because of their personal brands. And we know so much of the player from social media and everything else they're involved with because all the campaigns and everything is like, I know Gronkowski and like Rob Gronkowski more for what he is known for outside of being on the football field. So I saw a Rob Gronkowski WWE figure and I'm like, I got to buy that. Right. But my affinity towards his cards and just being a fan is just so much more outside. And I don't know if that would have been the same way 20 years ago if they had those opportunities. And because Kidd and Nash, they were never big personalities that I knew of. I never saw anything from them. To me, it's more like you could probably buy them at a decent price and you'll be fine. But do I think that they're going to spike at any time? Even if they go to the finals, either one of them in this next year or two, I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it like a collector wanting it a lot more because now they're going to coach in the finals.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know what would you compare it to? Doc Rivers, Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's won championships with the Warriors. I don't think his rookie card really moved as a coach winning championships. His card got a bump because of the last dance.
Yeah,
but it quickly came back down. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of I think for me, I think I would probably go in a different direction only because there's other opportunities out there. That's it. Just it's that opportunity cost thing.
Yeah, same here. I think they're very safe. I just don't think that they're gonna do too much. And Steve Kerr, I don't remember him too much, but he shouldn't have been nearly the player as a Nash or a Jason.
No, you're right. Yeah, he wasn't. He was definitely a role player.
Okay, well, it looks like we're way behind on comments, and I want to bring on Corey. So let's see if there's anyone else. Cam Akers, I'll just do a couple real rapid fire real quick. Cam Akers, any thoughts on him?
I don't know enough about him.
Neither do I. I live in LA and I just follow Tampa sports for the most part. Phil Jackson cards. Yeah, I think that's all fine. I just wonder if it's good enough. COMC making it hard to flip. Yeah, their backlog is crazy. I'm actually going to have a video coming out with Dustin, like a top mistakes we've made in the hobby since getting back in. And spoiler alert on one of my mistakes, it's underestimating supply on COMC as well as in the hobby, and especially on new product, where you think you're seeing all the supply, and then especially the stuff that's just being ripped, and then all of a sudden you think you're like, all right, this is the last silver mosaic Kevin Durant, and then all of a sudden in 2 weeks there's 15 of them, and they're all priced less than what you paid. Not even, like not even the price that you want to get, just what you paid originally. So you always got to consider the backlogs of PSA, how many cards are going to flood the market that you might want to sell, and if you're holding out for top dollar or COMC or anything like that.
Yeah, the thing that's really fascinating about this hobby too, when we're talking about this stuff, is you never really know how many people, when you talk about supply and demand, how many of the cards are being bought up by collectors that are not necessarily looking to resell. Because that's a huge component. It's like that piece of the supply that's just not going to go on the market because they're collecting a set, or they're trying to there's or they're just collecting a certain player, and they don't they're not trying to buy it and resell it. So, but that's a really fun part of this hobby too, is trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and speaking of that, real quick with Global's comment here, there's two guys. One guy, shout out to Ari, who I'm actually meeting up with Saturday. He's bought like 10 or 14 of my cards, and this is for his Kobe collection. I think that's the great thing, is if you're going to screw up with an all-time great in the hometown at which you live. If you can do that, you can really bail yourself out, because he's buying like 10 or 15 of my cards, somewhere between there. And another guy, Steve, up in Agora Hills, who bought something like 8 or so of my PSA 10s in person. So I've been selling them like crazy. I think I have like 30 out of the 220 left, which is insane. 6 of which are shoes. But
it's good that you're in Los Angeles and not in like rural Idaho.
Yeah. Well,
hey,
I mean,
you want to meet up? Come on down.
Yeah, no, seriously, man. So there was definitely perks there, being, PSAs in your backyard, and I'm starting off with Kobe Bryant, like another insurance policy. It's in my hometown. It should sell locally. He's an all-time great. It's not like a guy that could be traded next year to the rival team. So it's a good learning lesson right there, though. All right. Well, it looks like I can't get to all these comments, unfortunately. We might have time at the end, but I really want to bring on Corey here and show what he has brought and what he's created. Corey,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
You left off with Kobe Bryant is a safe investment because he's in your backyard.
Well, he's a safe investment, I think, for a lot of reasons.
That's like, I think I'm going to buy some MJ Fleer 89s.
But you know what? My story was getting back in. I was only keeping up with my Tampa sports, so I didn't know the current NBA players. I knew some NFL outside of the Bucks, but it was mostly just NFC South. And when I got back in February, all I knew was what I had from my childhood, and then the last I watched of NBA, which was when my Orlando Magic, were good, and that's when Dwight Howard was like this amazing player that was going to change the Magic and bring a ring to Orlando and be the second coming of Shaq. And then the Lakers beat the Magic. Pau Gasol flopped like a freaking fish all over the court for like the whole year. And I remember writing a letter like on NBA.com's website. It was a long letter. It was probably like 2 full pages on how much I'm not going to watch the NBA because they reward floppers. And I literally stopped watching. And then
that's the awesome thing about card collecting in general. Even if you're not in it to flip, or you get into it to flip, say, you're like, I'm going to make all this money. Once you get one of those cards back from PSA, you're not giving it up. I don't care what you tell me. If it comes back at 10 and you subbed it yourself, it's got to be a high price for you to part with that card. Yeah. And that's kind of where this all started.
Yeah, man. Let's go a bit into your background, and then we'll bring on the other camera where we could really show what's going on. But the one thing I loved is that you saw an opportunity, you saw a niche, something that was not being presented, and you created your own product to solve the pain point. So give us a bit of your background and where this came from.
Yeah, so like a lot of people, I got back into card collecting a little bit before the COVID stuff, just because a buddy of mine was into it. And I'm sorry, is my light? I feel like I'm like look like I'm in a big.
I mean, it's kind of like creepy guy behind a bush. But
you should see. I'm telling you, you should see the setup I have here. If like I literally go dark and everything falls.
Here, turn the hat around. Turn the hat around.
As long as my display stays up, that's all I really care about. But I'm literally looking at my camera that's resting on a giant roll of bubble tape that I use for packing my displays. So, like I said, if it all comes crashing down, just bear with me. You guys probably won't.
Oh, good, man. I love the hustle. So, yeah, so you got back in right before COVID, and what brought you back into the hobby?
Two things. I've collected everything. It started sports cards when I was little. I mean, I would collect different shaped rocks. It didn't matter to me. They were mine. I found them. It was the coolest thing in the world. And then sports cards, obviously, when I was young, because of the sports aspect, it's like you get to that player that you idolize. You get to actually like kind of have them in your hand for a second. And then the gambling, like not when I was 5, like now gambling. I got back, I would watch these like breaks, and it's so intimidating watching the stuff on live where you're like, wait, it's how much? And that card's worth how much? And I'll never forget the first break I got into, I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for it. I got a Luka Prism rookie out of a 1819, I think it was a hobby box break. It was like this was when it was like $130 a spot. Can you imagine?
Oh,
and now it's like, I don't think you could touch one of those boxes for under $3K.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
All right. So then I subbed it, and while all this was going on, I'm watching, these other guys doing their breaks and stuff, and everybody's showing their cards. Everybody's going, they're trying. Sorry, I get these comments.
Yeah. The first time on StreamYard, the comments will distract you. I'll handle that. You just.
So I was just saying, like I was watching these guys, and some of them with like it's a show off thing, but it's also like what they love. But they'd have $50,000 worth of cards in PSA slabs just stacked up on their table, and they're shuffling through them like cards. And I'm like, what is there anything out there that's like would be cool to just hang up on the wall? And everything, I looked around and I'm like, well, that's decent, but it looks like something that like I put my grandfather's war medals in. Like it wasn't anything cool. It was all just like plain old Jane stuff, and it was expensive. I mean, if you go to Etsy or any of those places, it's all expensive, and none of it's like personalized. It's all personalized by the cards you put in it, and that's important too. But so, long story short, a lot of trips to Home Depot, a lot of cuts on my hands. I took 3 pieces of plexiglass, put it together, got a template made, took it to a manufacturer, got the drawings. Realized there was a problem with the first thing, dumped a bunch of money into the next production, realized that guy isn't doing what he said he was going to do, dumped a bunch of money to the next production guy, and here we are. So,
dude, I love that, because there's a theme with how you just attack this niche, because I feel like whether it's YouTube or anything else, people go, yeah, but I'm not ready, or I need this camera or this or this. And you're like, dude, here's an opportunity. I'm going to mess up, and I'm just going to keep going.
I'm on this stream like with a camera on bubble tape. So I'm all in.
I'm not going to say that I hope it falls, but I'm going to say that it is very good, makes good TV when bad things happen.
If you could just see the background here. It's just, and I've turned, luckily I have, so my background as far as other than this, I work for my life is a giant side hustle. Ever since I was like flipping candy cigarettes when I was 5 from the ice cream man and selling them in school. And I'm one of those guys that I try to build something, I guess, before I buy it, which I found out quickly that that's not like the greatest thing to do. Like when I'm outside changing my oil in the like middle of the winter, and I'm like underneath the car, and I look at my receipt and I save $10 if I would have just went to Jiffy Lube. Some things you just shouldn't do. But like, yeah, and I got a 4-year-old, and everything he had. I mean, he's got 10 Power Wheels that I've completely I get them for free, broken down, strip them, rewire them. They all run off a 18-volt Makita or a Milwaukee drill battery. And one of them's a dump truck that I bought an actuator off of Amazon. You flip the switch, and it does. And so I filled a mulch. He drives to the end of the yard, flips the switch, dumps it out. We do it again, back and forth. So
you're a builder. I mean, simply,
yeah. I know a lot about everything, or a little about everything.
You remind me of Tim Allen in Home Improvement, except you don't electrocute yourself.
Yeah, I just don't have an out. That's the problem.
Okay. Well, all right. We got another camera here. I want you to actually show what you've got. Let me see if I could add this to the stream. Let's see if this works. If not, you might just have to take the display off. So now that is on the stream. If you want to grab that. And let me remove this. Let's see if this works. And add the sound. Oh, wait. No, can't do that. Okay, let's hear. Yeah, we can hear you. So let's take a look here.
So I have 2 versions out right now. That's the 9 card that's not isn't filled. That's just the clear. So what it is a half-inch piece of acrylic, and it's routed out slots for all your cards, and they stay in there with a non-abrasive little piece of nano tape, which is key because when it's flat, it doesn't, if it was tilted a little bit, it'd be fine. And the cool thing about it is, like, you can fully customize your collection to your name.
Yeah, dude. I actually saw this yesterday. I went to Cards and Coffee up in Hollywood and saw it, and it was really good. It was better than I thought in person.
Surprise for you. And I got to know who your graphic designer is, because
shit!
That right there.
What? Oh shit! No way, dude. That's sick, man. Dude, that's awesome. Here, I gotta mention one thing. All right, can you put this on the side so that the angle is wide? Will that work? I don't know if it'll automatically tilt. There we go. Boom. Now we can see more. It fills up the whole screen, dude. I talked to Al at Cards and Coffee. I want to give him a shout out because
he's awesome.
Yeah, he took the time to show it to me, and obviously I wasn't buying anything there. I just said, look, I'm having Corey on tomorrow night. I would like to just see if you have it and what it looks like. And he talked really highly of you and the product, and he just took the time to share it with me. So I got to give a shout out to them, but also
forget about you,
dude. Well, oh shit,
nice.
That's sick, man.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
So you get your logo.
Very cool.
Very less.
I was getting jealous. And then there's
exactly. Well, I mean, this thing. I don't know how you would get into cards looking at that picture.
I know. Man.
That's just a straight modeling shot right there.
That was my pre-COVID days when I actually cared about what I look like, and now I'm eating a tower of donuts and baklava, and it's just kind of like, you know what? Whatever. I'm letting myself go.
Where I wanted to go. So you tell me that you do a cheat day, and on the East Coast, this would be cheating on what we normally eat. So we got an apple and grapes, because there's no cheat day. It's winter, COVID. I don't know what donuts and all that. That's normal. So if I'm cheating on donuts,
gotcha.
There's green drinks.
Gotcha.
We don't have many of those around.
Damn. So that's your one healthy meal of the day or of the week.
The part that Brad doesn't say is he doesn't eat anything else for the rest of the week. It's just that plate of donuts. That's for the next 7 days.
And I throw up. And I throw up right after. I mean, that's a small detail.
California diet.
Yeah.
So
black coffee and nice little magical chocolates that I have from time to time, and then I just I throw the rest up.
Yeah, I am jealous of you guys. We're not legal yet.
So tell me a bit about where you can get those. Will you be at the National? And there was another idea I had too. Was I think Michael Hamm just literally pointed it right out. Is for card shops to have it there, but also is there a way that card shops can sell it and then just the personalized part?
So these are actually all clients or customers. That one is one of one. He just opened a shop in. Sorry, you see my.
All good.
Camera. So he just opened a shop in Ohio. He's been breaking online for years. Saved up enough money to open his own shop. I went to the shop and installed it. It's not, it's not an install thing, but I just went out there to, make sure everything was good. And so he actually sells them out of his shop, and he uses it as a display for his slabs to sell. And then there's shy breaks, which is cool because you can really get pretty like that's the
It's a phone number?
Well, that's their phone number, but that's the Chicago flag.
Oh, sweet.
And then a lot of guys know about Pool Wax. They supported me from day one. They're a great guys down and if you couldn't tell, that's from Miami. It's by that color scheme.
Yeah. And like Miami Vice.
And this is the cool stuff. This, to me, is why I made the product. Like this guy, a 60-year-old guy who saw my TikTok. God only knows how he saw my TikTok. He's got a 500 slab Aaron Judge collection. And he was so excited to just display. I mean, it's Aaron Judge's debut, Aaron Judge's birthday, right there, the number. And he bought one of the big displays so he could put it on there. And then obviously there's cards and coffee.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a couple questions too. I'd like to answer if you can as well. Yeah. So we got a question from Michael Ham here. BGS or SGC slabs, is that something that's in the works?
Yes, BGS my production should be done in I think a week. I should have them in hand, and that will be both the 9 and 25 model. And the cool thing about that is, so just for I'm sure a lot of your viewers know, but the BGS slab on this side will actually have my version etched in the glass. So it'll be SYS instead of the B, and then you'll have your gold tag. I'll offer the black label, but God knows nobody has those. I mean,
yeah. Well, I was wondering if you did the B, you'd probably get sued, right? Was it something like that?
No, I just like my own twist on it, to be honest. And I'm not opposed to perfect example. I mean, my name isn't really on this beauty right here, and I would gladly sell this to you because to me, the card collecting it's personal, and there's nothing out there displaying anything of personality. Everything's like I said, a piece of furniture that doesn't tell any story. And I had a guy that bought one the other day that was telling this cool story where he got a superfractor 1 of 1 Jeff Bagwell, which nobody cares about Jeff Bagwell, to be quite honest. But he had
his mom probably cares.
Right. I was like, if his mom buys it, maybe he might make some money, but
he had a hell of a batting stance, Jeff Bagwell.
Yes. I'm very there's been a lot of correlations with a certain internet celebrity over that, but so he's telling me the story where he puts the card. He just got back into collecting, didn't even realize that this was a 1 of 1 or a superfractor, and he sets it on his desk only in a penny sleeve for about 3-4 weeks. His buddy comes by and looks at his collection and goes, "Dude, do you realize this is a 1 of 1? There's literally none of them out anywhere." And he goes, "Really?" And so he sends it off to BGS. It comes back a black label. Do you realize how? I mean, you could have set a drink in it and something bumped it and you ding a corner and there.
It was the only other person that liked Jeff Bagwell that was grading it.
Yeah, it's unreal. But so he's going to keep it, and that'll be his centerpiece on his display. And he can tell that story to whoever comes over, or whoever sees it online, or because somebody will be like, "Dude, why did you grade Jeff Bagwell?" And it's like, well, here's the story behind it. And to me, the way to do it is to have it personally customized the whole way. But yes, BGS is on its way, and the other one.
The other one was what's it made of?
It's 1/2 inch acrylic, so it's sturdy.
Yeah, it looked really sturdy when I saw it. And you know what's funny about the display is it kind of reminds me of that phase when MySpace had your favorite friends, like your top
top 9.
and then if you weren't in there, people would get pissed. They'd be like, "You're in my top 9. How come I'm not in your top 9?" That's kind of like a way to say, what I like about it is like, you know what? Not every card I have is as meaningful. So I could have some in there that are meaningful, but I could also have my investments that I'm like, look, I just want to look at my investments. I want it to be a really cool display. And then when I'm ready to sell it, it sells on eBay. I pluck it off and I send it away. Way better than like, I got a milk crate here filled with boxes. And I mean, it's fine, but if I could have something better.
If it nothing else, it keeps all your cards in one area. I mean,
in a cool way.
You guys, but I got the non-graded stuff. I've just given up on trying to keep it organized. It's just in like card boxes, and God only knows what's in there. There's probably value in there that I don't even remember I have. So that's why I'm kind of focused more on just the display aspect of it.
So Corey, and I want Dustin, if you have any questions, let me know. This was it right here. So where can people get it, learn more about it? Obviously, pricing is going to be something. Will you be at the National? But I have another idea once you go over that, where hopefully people can get it more easily, depending on where they live, coming up next year, based on if you're able to distribute in a higher quantity.
Yeah, so what we're right now, you can go to showyourslabs.com and buy on the site. And yes, we will be, well, National, we're going to be in Dallas next month, pending the world doesn't end, but I think we're turning a corner, hopefully. But the National, we're going to be there. I just don't know what capacity, because the problem with that was the last one, I think, was pushed back. So what they did is they gave all the vendors a spot for the next one. And so there aren't any vendor tables open. So I'm hoping that there's some way that I can, I'm going to be there one way or the other. If I can partner up with somebody that's already there, like a coffee that probably has a space, or, somebody with a bigger name. And then, so like I said, showyourslabs.com. And you can actually, it's pretty cool. You go on the site, you can customize your slab tag right on the site. Upload your logo, put your name in, and obviously we'll contact you and with a final rendering for you to approve before we go to print. But and even so, like the cool, and for $10 you could order a new slab, or a new slab tag next month. Say you finally complete that Giannis rainbow that you've been collecting forever, and you want a special Giannis tag. First of all, I'd say buy another display, but if that's not in your,
don't be such a cheap ass.
Yeah, right. Look, if you got a Giannis rainbow, I don't need to hear you crying about.
You're like duct taping, you're scotch taping it to the wall. That's what the scotch tape is useful now. Like,
yeah, exactly. So and then, like I said, it's just an awesome way to show off, and there's so many different. We got a lot of cool stuff in the works. We got a slab table, which will be essentially breakers can use it to break over their slabs. You could use it as, it'll be a coffee table size, so you could have it in your man cave. And it'll have that extra layer of protection on top. So obviously don't set drinks right on them, and then we have another one coming out with some memorabilia incorporated in it. And maybe I'll get your mother-in-law to do some smaller paintings for us so we can surround them with Lucas slabs, if anybody's got that many to do it.
Between the paintings and the different displays, there's just like so much opportunity with what we can do, because like at the end of the day, the cards are art pieces. Like that's why certain cards are popular. And then you have like these Bulls players in a green prism, and it looks like an ugly Christmas sweater. And I'm like, this is the most hideous card ever. But then sometimes it's like a red, the color, the orange burst on Mosaic or orange blast or whatever, and it looks better. So everything's very visual, and the idea of just putting it in a box or just stacking them without having a display is like a bit silly to me. So Corey, I just want to thank you again for coming on and sharing this, because I know you're really on Instagram a lot more than YouTube, but I wanted to introduce you.
I know YouTube's like a huge thing, and I'm definitely, it would be a better probably entry point for me, because everybody's got multi-cams and all that kind of stuff. And, it's just, it's definitely a good entry point. And as much as I'm just trying to get the name out there and stuff, I think at a certain point, everything, people just need to see it in their hands. And another thing I wanted to show
Sure.
how easy it is. So this is one of my favorite cards. Does anybody know what this one is?
Oh yeah.
The
Eric.
Yeah. Which again doesn't really mean much to anybody. I'm from Baltimore, so to me it's the greatest thing Billy Ripken ever did. His brother was fantastic, but so when you get your display, it will come with these little gel tabs that are in each one, and they have a little protective cover on it. You just peel that little cover off, and there you go. And you also get, I call it the slab grabber. It's got a suction cup on one end, and it actually has a screen cleaner on the other, so you can clean the front of your slabs. Or, if you got greasy fingers, you can get all this. You've got kids, I'm sure you can get the smudges off. Just pop it out.
It's super cool, man. Like, you are like the Tim Allen that doesn't destroy things, because I would have never thought
right?
with any of that.
He always came up with like one thing every like 7 episodes. That was pretty cool.
I do remember one episode where Tim Allen glued his head to a table.
Yeah,
and they had to like
cut the table out.
Yeah,
right. cut the part of the table out, right?
And then Jonathan Taylor Thomas made this like epic witty remark, like when Jill goes, what was his name? Randy, set the table, and he goes, "All right, bend over, Dad." And then that was like, it was that memorable. But I just want to thank you again for coming on and sharing it, guys. Again, showyourslabs.com. You could learn more there. The one question I had is if you thought you could get the distribution enough to the point where stores can have the slabs there, but then the design can be done online and just sent to them to be a bit more cost effective, and then also for the stores to have a little markup so that they can sell more of them and have an incentive, if that was something you had thought of.
Yeah, so one of our plans is to roll out, like with coffee breakers is probably going to be one of the first ones. We're going to work out a deal where we wholesale them the slabs. They'll actually have the displays in their store, and with that display will come the standard cards and coffee tag. Because if you're in that store, that store means something to you, and that's the other thing. Like for me, I was at my LCS today. People, if you're just getting into card collecting, go to your local card shop. You will find deals that cannot be beaten on eBay. I mean, these guys are like, they know what they're doing. They price everything right. You're not paying taxes. You're not waiting for shipping. You're not doing any of that stuff. And they're local. They're all, they're in your community. But so yes, we are. So what we'll do, I think we're going to start by offering the option for them to sell them in the store, and then we ship the display to the person. Because until we have enough inventory to cover, being able to just put a bunch of inventory out to different locations, which I'm told by my manufacturer that we shouldn't have that problem. But and then so you would get like a cards and coffee temporary tag, and then you get a little code to go on our website, design your tag, and we can mail that out in no time. So.
I mean, I love it. I just think that just like everything else, like YouTube and the different market movers and card ladder, everything is just so beginning, right? Everything just started a couple months ago, and we're only seeing the very beginning of this company. And I think next year this could really explode because it's innovative. It's different than all the standard displays where it looks like it's more designed for memorabilia, which is fine, but you always just see that over and over again. You don't see something with more of a youthful custom look. And I had no idea you were going to make that tag for me and Dustin. That's super cool. I just wanted to share with you.
Well, there's a sale in every room. So like I said, go to showyourslabs.com. I've already got your tags printed. So, I mean, shipping, I'd have them out to you in like a week.
Dude, that's sick, man. That's sick. Well, I can't wait to meet you in person, hopefully at the National in Chicago in summer. I think that's when a lot of us will be able to meet for the first time. There was one question from Brian Kingsley. Are they UV safe? As in like what, like protects you from the sun or something?
Yeah. So we do offer, that's actually a really good question. Because a lot of, if you have super high-end stuff, you definitely want to have that. So we do have an option. It's not currently on the website, but if you reach out to us directly, where we can put it'll be about not a quarter inch, 1/8 inch thick piece of UV protected plexi over the front. So that's for more of the people that either have like the holy grail stuff that they're never selling, because you want to be able to access it, right? So for those guys that like have, crazy stuff and it may be exposed to sunlight or whatever, you want to have that, and we do offer that. The only difference is it will have 4 little clear screws in each corner that keeps the cover on, which also for some people is like at a store, you want to protect it and stuff. But the reality is you couldn't grab one of these out with your fingers if you tried. I mean, it's like flat.
Dude, the slab grabber. Dude, slab grabber,
yeah, exactly right.
Like it's meant for an infomercial. Like,
Well,
yeah, audience, slab grabber.
Yes, I can't tell you how many DMs I get, and they're like, I'm on your website, I can't find the product. And I'm thinking, like, I'm calling my web developer, like, I'm paying all this money, this guy. And then I come to find out they're looking for the slab grabber. And I'm like,
dude, you got to buy that domain.
I'm going to put it on there. And then I had one guy today bought two of the big ones. And he goes, I got everything in the cart, but I can't find the slab grabbers. I was like, dude, if you buy 2 of them, they come with each display, so you don't have to worry about. And the cool thing too is when you get it, so all your mounting screws will come inside. So everything included. It literally takes, I guess I probably should have told you that. It's 1 screw and 1 screw for the 9 card, and you go right into the wall. We do recommend doing it, stud mounting it, just for extra, added, security but especially for the big one, has 2 screws, 1, and then 1. So
we're gonna hire the ShamWow guy for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually, I was gonna say don't hire the other guy. I think he died.
Well, we couldn't even if we wanted to. Rest in peace.
Billy Mays. Billy Mays here for the slab grabber.
Dude, we'll get Tony Little on it, man. He would be the best, dude. The long, beautiful hair.
Yes. And just stick one right to his forehead.
Makes me think of that. Did you see that skit, the Jim Carrey Juice Weasel on In Living Color?
Oh my God, yeah. That's
Juice Weasel.
That was epic. That was
awesome.
Do you guys have kids?
Yeah, I do.
How old?
8 and 5.
Are they in the collection? There you go. Yep. And that picture comment.
I knew that was coming.
What was that?
Are they into collecting at all?
Oh, sorry, I missed that. No, not yet. They're not quite there yet. They're interested. I think they're more interested that I'm on YouTube talking about it. So they're getting there. They're getting there.
That's cool. Yeah, there's nothing like. I mean, for me, my kid's 4, so he doesn't have any real like interest. But he loves like the shiny cards over the, And little does he know, now I can buy slabs for a tax write-off. So it's there'll be more of those coming in. But yeah, that's what I can't wait for, is when he's old enough to, whether it be sports. I mean, Pokemon. There's so much like. Whatever you collect in the card world, it all comes together at the same point, right? So everybody has cards. They all want to grade them. When you get that card back, a Charizard is in the same case as a Lamar Jackson. So, you can bond over that. And I think I saw a meme the other day that said it was like a guy pays $5,000 for a Patrick Mahomes rookie and looks at the guy who paid $5,000 for the Charizard like he's crazy. And the guy that Charizard said, well, yeah, my guy's never going to tear his ACL.
Yeah.
Which couldn't be more true, because, I mean, have you guys seen those? Have you talk about any of that kind of stuff, or that hasn't gotten to your radar?
Charizard's never going to tweet something anti-Semitic like.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know how PC this stream was. So I didn't want it too dark.
Well, see, that's the good thing. I don't have kids yet, so I'm letting out all the inappropriate stuff now. So when I do have kids, then I can be a bit more.
You go back and watch the videos. That's good.
Yeah, so you guys are the dad. You're welcome to be here and then like crack up a bit, and I should be good for the next few years until I have to step up my maturity.
Very good. What do you guys? I got to get an investment tip. What's the hottest card to buy? Is that? I mean, I'm assuming that's where you guys go.
You know what? Honestly, we don't talk too much about specific cards. Like we like to talk about strategy, but like to me, I'm always about what is the hottest thing. Great, let me sell it, and what should be coming up in the next 3 to 6 months. And so, just like really quick. Baseball is something I've started looking into. Soccer is something I'm starting looking into. Things where if I go to the ESPN app, I don't see a single thing on it, but I know that it will in the future. So I'm selling off a lot of basketball right now, and then I'll hold some of it throughout the season. But if I can move some cards for twice the profit before the season begins, that's just too lucrative and too good for not having to risk a torn ACL or anything like that.
Right.
While baseball will enter the conversation in the next 2 months, and soccer will eventually come back in that conversation. And then when football's over, I'll be looking at opportunities there. What about you, Dustin?
That's where the gambling aspect of it kills me, is because like this is a perfect example. I got this card graded myself, which is a Kawhi Leonard PSA 10 Genesis, and it was at like 1,100, 1,200. And I'm watching the playoffs, and I'm in Baltimore, so we don't have a basketball team. So I'm just the biggest Kawhi Leonard fan, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold it for like a week, because nobody saw them getting knocked out. And then he gets knocked out, and you're like, all right, that's an investment. Put it back on the wall. Like that one's got to hold till next year. And I was listening to you guys talk about the '86 Fleer stuff, and talk about the next generation. They're not going to care about that. Look at antique songs. Like nobody's buying. You know what I mean? The reality is it's the next shiny thing, and it's move on to the next shiny thing. And it's move on. You know what I mean?
I mean, like Mickey Mantle. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like Mickey Mantle, Mickey Mouse, I care more about than Mickey Mantle. You know,
right? So you're talking about the next. I mean, obviously there's the transcendent guys like the MJs and the LeBrons and I got my LeBron row right here. But anything LeBron, anything MJ, but anybody, like I heard somebody ask about Jason Kidd and
Steve Nash.
Like, dude, if anybody offers you anything, sell it. I mean, I don't know. It's not going up. Right. Like, short of him, like, doing something and going to jail, like, that may make it
I only hope he goes to jail for tax evasion, just so the cards might see a spike, because he might have some cool points.
Like the collectors that collect like murderers memorabilia. That's the only way that card's going. I mean, because he's already in the Hall of Fame, right? So that's the thing you wait for, right? So I actually picked up this one today, which I always find these interesting. It's the Gronkowski.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite. I love that.
I am obsessed with tops where
2010
ball in hand or running, or like I want the one that says ball not in hand. Like who was the guy that decided, at PSA where they're telling me he's running? Like I appreciate that. I thought he was just standing there holding his arm up, or the guy throwing the ball, or but. I like this kind of card is going to me, value down the road. Like, so, I mean, if they do win another championship, that's just icing on the cake, him and Brady. But when he gets inducted, that's when you see the bumps. If it's past that, like any induction, just either buy a slab display and put it on the wall.
Yeah, and we're gonna hop off here real soon, but I will say I got that same card, Topps Chrome 2010 Rob Gronkowski refractor rookie card the other day on COMC for I want to say $30, and I couldn't believe, and it was raw, but I couldn't believe it. And it looked like it was in good shape, maybe an 8. I doubt any less, but I was like, holy crap, that is cheap. And what excites me about Gronk versus Jason Kidd and the others is he is such a big personality that I have no idea where he's going to go post-career, but I think he can be on TV for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Right. And he could be doing something totally different and bring in a whole new audience who wants to start collecting whatever. I did hear you talk about like the wrestling figure. That's exactly, you need to, there's your top level guys, and then there's the guys who you invest in, you think might be good as a rookie. But like I said, the guy, like a Gronk Hill, once he gets inducted, his cards will go up probably 20-25%. You get out. So
yeah, and I think for the other point was just, I think now with social media, personal brand is more important with players than, not more important than their skill set, because they have to be great. But I think that's the difference maker, because Jordan had that huge personal brand of Space Jam and the Air Jordans and the clothing line and just the Gatorade campaigns. And he was the face, and he was likable. I mean, at least on the fan side, even me.
That's because there was no social media.
Yeah, and that was before social media. So now I think that plays even bigger. But guys, I want to end it right here. Dustin, I haven't heard from you in a while. I don't know if you're just thinking about those like little store-bought cookies or doggy treats or whatever.
My screen froze 20 minutes ago.
That's just the green screen you put up so you could sneak out. You'd be like, there I am.
My wife did, she Zooms on work, and one of her coworkers, they have little group meetings of, on the side. One of her coworkers screenshot the CEO's face and came in and just left it there. And there was like 7 other people like, what is he doing in here? Why is he like texting on the side? And it was just a blank screen and like a still shot. I was like, that's some creative like 21st century prank.
All the Zoom pranks are starting to sprout up. We're starting to see what you can get away with from that. But Dustin, any final words? Anything else on your mind you want to talk about real quick?
No, I mean, I think that we pretty much covered it. I appreciate you having me on, and it was good to meet you. It's Corey, right?
Yes, Corey. I should have put it down there.
Yeah, thanks for making that. I'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. That background is just so boring.
Well, you gotta. I mean, I do like the wreath. I like the Christmas theme, but usually when
it's gonna go right here.
Can I see one of those paintings nearby? I know you gotta hop off, but
are
they on your website?
They're downstairs. Yeah, the paintings are downstairs. You mean the ones my studio / basement is downstairs.
Okay. Oh, he doesn't get the basement treatment. He's just the guy who up the phone.
I'm gonna put the slab thing right here. My wife's gonna be like, "What the hell is that next to the wreath?" I'm like, "Just
beautiful, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's our kids' college."
and I actually don't have 2 other walls. This is the only corner that's actually recordable. There's like nothing over here at all. I'm exposed to the wilderness. This is just the background that actually looks like I'm smart, because I have a lot of books that I've never read in the back, and then a Bucks flag that I've had since I was.
It sounds like you're bragging that you live in California, where they just have those giant sliding walls that open up to the outside.
Yeah, where's the infinity pool, Brad?
Here in LA, rent is kind of expensive, so I funnel all that into cards, and I have like 6 families staying with me over in this corner while I take the room over there.
Like that.
He's waiting for that Gronk rookie card to really shoot up before he buys the infinity pool.
Yeah, seriously. Anyways, guys,
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Corey. Dustin, thank you so much. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, obviously, and we'll be doing this again next week. I just want to show you guys who else is in the hobby that is doing some creative stuff. So definitely check out showyourslabs.com, and hopefully we'll all meet at the National next year. But until then, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.
Sounds good.